What is up, guys? Delboy here. A quick video discussing my fighter of the year. Now for me, there is only really one obvious choice for fighter of the year, and that is Alexander Usyk. In 2018, he won the World Boxing Super Series, he unified the cruiserweight division and fought away from home in each of his 3 fights. Usyk to me has raised the bar very high this year, and no other fighter has matched that. In fact, off the top of my head, I can't really think of anybody who has come close, to be quite honest. Now, there has been other fighters who had good 2018s. Vasily Lomachenko had quite a good year. He became a freeweight world champion by beating Jorge Linares, and then he unified against Jose Pedraza. So, he became a freeweight world champion and then unified in his next fight. That is quite impressive. Anthony Joshua also had quite a good year. He unified with Joseph Parker and also defeated Alexander Povetkin, who is a good fighter. So Joshua had a good year. But nobody really matched what Alexander Usyk did this year, to be completely honest. I mean, we can run through what he did do. On the 27th of January, he defeated Mairis Briedis in Latvia, Riga, fighting away from home in Briedis' backyard, and he unified the WBC and WBO cruiserweight titles. That was a really good win on the road. Briedis was looking quite good up until that point. He then goes on to fight Murat Gassiev on the 21st of July. Again, Alexander Usyk travelling to Gassiev's backyard in Russia. For a Ukrainian to be going to Russia to fight a Russian, that's quite ballsy. And not only that, Gassiev is just a good fighter. He has good solid fundamentals, punching power. He was coming off some good wins over the likes of Dorticos, Wlodarczyk and also Denis Lebedev. So Gassiev was going into that fight in good form. He was undefeated and, he was looking dangerous. And Alexander Usyk travelled to Gassiev's backyard and schooled him, to be quite honest. And it was a tremendous performance, and arguably the performance of the year. And last but not least, he then travels to the UK to fight Tony Bellew on the 10th of November. Tony Bellew, obviously a former cruiserweight title holder. I never felt he was the best cruiserweight, but he's always been a solid fighter. And Usyk scored a highlight reel knockout on Tony Bellew to put an exclamation point on a tremendous 2018. For me, Alexander Usyk has been an absolute joy to watch in 2018. And, he's one of those fighters that just gets me excited about boxing, to be quite honest. He's a joy to watch, like I said. A breath of fresh air in the modern era. No nonsense, he'll fight anybody. And I'm really, really looking forward to his campaign at heavyweight. Also, a quick subcategory, British Fighter of the Year. I am actually going to go with Josh Warrington for this one, and I'll tell you why. He is 2-0 this year, and in both of those fights, he defied the bookies' odds. He was the underdog in both fights this year against Lee Selby and against Carl Frampton. Lee Selby was the IBF featherweight champion, and the majority of people expected Selby to beat Warrington, but that's not what happened. Josh Warrington bashed up Lee Selby and outworked him, and even outboxed him at times to win the IBF featherweight title. That was a really impressive performance. He then follows up with a title defence against Carl Frampton again. Carl Frampton, a 2-weight world champion. Carl Frampton, a favourite going into the fight. And Josh Warrington put on an absolute dominant display to retain his IBF title. Josh Warrington, for me, has been the British Fighter of the Year. Defying the odds twice, improving tremendously as a fighter. And he's saying the right things, man. He took his first defence against Carl Frampton. Now he's saying he wants to unify. That's what I want to hear. And he's also very entertaining. So yeah, British Fighter of the Year goes to Josh Warrington. For me at least, anyway. Anthony Joshua, like I said, had a good year. Had 2 good wins over Joseph Parker and Alexander Povetkin, but I did expect him to win those fights. I picked against Josh Warrington both times, so I've got to give it to Josh Warrington. He's had a tremendous year, and I'm looking forward to seeing what 2019 holds for him, because he's really a fun fighter to watch. But share your thoughts below. Do you guys agree with my picks or not? Peace.